I thought to myself, the Culloughers are true heroes of conservation, and the idea for the event to honor the conservation heroes of Geauga County was born. Now, I'd like to introduce this year's Hero of Conservation poet, Dr. Catherine Orr. Catherine is an assistant professor teaching poetry and creative writing in the English department at Kent State. She's also a member of the Honors College faculty, a mentor to NEO MFA students teaching creative writing, and directs senior writing portfolios. Her most recent research focuses on poetry as a modality of healing in those impacted by trauma, especially as infants and precognitive, pre-verbal children, and the way poems and the images they contain mediate between trauma and a livable post-traumatic life. Her chapbook, White Sustenance, was one of the first two to win the WIC Poetry Chapbook Competition. Catherine will be reading from her journal entries that describe her walks in the woods as a young woman with her father. Please help me to welcome Catherine Orr.
For that introduction. Hi, everybody. So nice to be here. Thank you for inviting me, Bob and Kathleen. And it's nice to connect some names with faces as well. And actually what I'm reading today, since one never knows, is not exactly those same walks. What I'm reading today is more about trying to get to the woods and not really being able to find a way, and I'm feeling like overly busy. So I'm going to like this. Okay, can I do that? This thing's a little high for me. Okay, can everybody hear me? No. Can everybody hear me now? Yes. Okay. I'm quietly making plans to go to the park for a walk sometime soon as the semester is over, or maybe even sooner. Quietly planning to narrow the focus, what matters besides humility and praise, to cut out what isn't clear and cooperative as trees, as the wren, this one, perched on the railing of my deck, letting the morning breeze flutter the down at the upper corners of its wings, hopping along the wooden beam and then resting, looking around, pointing its pointy beak this way and that way, until in one great act of joy or faith or obedience, it leaps breast first into the air and lets itself lilt and loft over the neighbors' rooftops. I let the dogs in and let them out again and turn back to my work, which is, at the moment, reading drafts of poems a student has given to me in a yellow folder, asking, would I give her some feedback, and are these okay? Are these what you wanted? Are these what you were looking for? The father character has, it sounds like with too much alcohol, tried to strangle the speaker of the poem. Ashley explains this with concrete images like too much eyeliner, bedside hospital humiliations, lazy boy recliners, and incorrect sentence structure of various sorts, cigarettes and skipping school, and descriptions of sexual plans executed or waiting to be executed among friends whose stories I don't know. Porn, and only when there's torture can she feel anything. And I wish with her and for her character's sake that the black wings and blind angels who are used to this sort of thing would carry us to that other sort of walk. I meant a walk to see the bloodroot which is blooming, not quite fully, but by this weekend my father assures me it will be. The blameless, pure white stars offering themselves at the edge of the trail along River Road, right near the rookery, where the primordial herons hunch over their young, dropping fish from the bog into the deep stick nests. I meant the mid-April air against my cheek, the skunk cabbage, its first twirled green spearing up from the mud along the creek. I meant the path where I walked with my mother, who is 85, and my father, 87. The way they hold hands, having somehow stayed married 66 years, she wearing humility like a shawl made of light, and he whose back suddenly cannot straighten, and who doctors tell us is dying, 6 months at best, and who will mow the orchard this year, and what will happen to the big house. And my mother and I, no, really, we strolled, not walked. And when was the last time you strolled anywhere? I had asked my class after reading some Mary Oliver, who had made an entire day of strolling, challenging them with the poem I read to them beneath the fluorescent lights. Tell me, what else should I have done? And what is it you will do with your one wild and precious life? I read Ashley's poems and straightened out my back, my neck, looked out the window at the miracle blue after Ohio's unforgiving, relentless season of gray, all of March, January, February. No, it was especially bad this year, everyone mumbles. I can't remember a winter this bad. I was thinking I should consider more deeply what else lasts except praise, and what else matters but finding one's way to it. And every day to look into the depths of injustice until I can find love there. I was thinking, give up your list of fears, what you have that you might lose, what you think you need that you may never get. Give up your Sunday night stomach aches, sinuous descriptions of who can do this better and how you're getting it wrong. Give up bashing your head bloody against the office door of whichever dean or chair you expect will grant you the serenity you need to keep going. I was moved. Ashley's poems, her courage to hand them to me. Hadn't I missed our first meeting? Hadn't I been overly busy? Yet here were the poems in my lap. I put on my jacket and walked to the post office to mail my Verizon bill. Extra high this month since my daughter needed a new phone, and what point not going ahead with the iPhone. The sap buckets have been taken down, although I don't specifically notice. I do notice the blue sky, red buds on the maples, piles of sticks at the ends of driveways for brush pickup day, which is a week from Monday. I notice what I notice and walk, upright, grateful, my arms swinging, my own cell phone in my pocket just in case. I come home and make dinner early, and before I leave to visit Helen, who is 100 and needs visits, I stop, feel the fear rise into my throat, or is it despair, the world going on all around me? Lately, what I do is this. I ask God to take away the fear, and then figure out what I think would be the next right thing, which in this case is checking the backyard for daffodils. And there are 5 which I could snip, and putting my favorite painted vase to take to Helen, which is what I do, take the flowers to Helen, and then I sit with her for an hour before my 6:30 meeting. Tell me, what else should I have done? Each to each, we were telling out loud what it is we were grateful for. Helen said she was grateful for the woods, the uncut forest, the blue-green Cuyahoga headwaters she has let her hand go down into. Mist on the river glass, sun rising behind the trees of the far shore, and to borrow from Emily Dickinson, how frequently the woods are pink. When it was my turn, I said rain. Registered complaint rain, caduceus rain, Arizona blonde car wash boy practicing Chinese characters between customers rain, canoe, train, quarters in your pocket, car ride rain, solemn summer rain. My grandmother, I told Helen, could quilt 500 triangles into a night of rain. Helen said yesterday in her garden, the sunflowers stood like a choir singing Mendelssohn's Elijah. Yesterday in her garden, she leaned down and let her lips touch the lamb's ear. Helen said, first falling in love, she would answer her door, her hair still uncut, and there he'd be with his red mittens and hazel eyes, and into the ravine they'd go, down the stone stairs, across the terrace to the forest, where the blackbird says, "No one, no one." I said, first falling in love, I would think of him as if I had never seen rain, though I had wondered, had heard stories, read about rain in books. Helen moves 2 arthritic fingers, then 4, as breeze picks up outside her windows and a sparrow lifts from its twig. A hermit thrush plays its glass flute over a tide of trees.